My mom said, "Really?" No, she's very patient. She might be the one.
Wow. Wow, there's a story here that you can make into a movie. You are now watching Couple Talk. Assalamualaikum. Welcome to season 3 of Couple Talk, brought to you by TillJannah.my. In this particular episode, we have a special guest for you guys. This power couple, Dato Fazley and Datin Azrene. Welcome to Couple Talk season 3. You're the first couple.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you
for
thank
having us.
And I understand that you prefer for me to call you Abang Fazley and Kak Azrene.
Yes, please.
Yes. I was about to call you Adik.
Oh my God.
But you look very young though.
Yeah, you thought I was 21, right?
Yes. You look 21.
Yes,
And I was told that you're
Alhamdulillah.
married. You're 30 years old.
Yeah, I
you
have
just
2
opened
kids.
a kindergarten.
I
You've
have
got
2
2
kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, who's the host again?
I think I am. But don't worry, we can go back and forth. No worries.
Alright.
How are you guys doing?
Great.
We're good.
Comfortable?
Yes.
You
Very
guys look
comfortable.
lovely together, by the
Ah,
way.
thank you.
And I
Thank
saw
you.
you guys were holding hands and everything with the interlocking fingers. I saw. Oh, mashallah.
So you're reading us right now, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Right,
My
right.
psychology degree is treating me very well right now. So I guess the first question is the basic question for all couples is let us know how you guys met.
Now.
Yeah.
No, that's a very interesting
Usually
question.
there are 2 stories here. The
Yes,
guy
because
and
I think it's a story it will take about 7 days and 7 nights to actually
Oh.
endure.
No.
But to cut it short, I was actually the executive producer for Siti Nurhaliza in concert in Royal Albert Hall, London.
Oh, okay.
So whilst I was in London on the first day of the concert, the only day actually on the 1st of April, I was at the back of the stage. And then I was actually outside of the hall, walking around, and then I saw this very pretty lady, which I thought was 16-year-old, 17-year-old girl. And then I kept
Mashallah.
looking at her. I said, "What's so pretty?" I was with my brother, and then we both have the same taste. My brother said, "Abang Long, why don't you go and say hi to her?" I said, "Nah, she's more of your type." "No, she's both of our type." But I'm glad that I went ahead instead of my brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and then this gorgeous young lady just asks me, "Excuse me, sir, where's the toilet?"
Yeah, because the concert started late.
Okay.
So it was supposed to start at 7, and I remember I got into a massive fight with my boss because I wasn't supposed to go. They're so used to me working until late at night.
Okay.
That day, basically what happened was I just said I have to go at 5 because I need to get on the bus and I need to go to the Royal Albert Hall. I have this thing. So I left, and then I got there at 6:30, and I thought, why is everyone hanging around? It's really, really late.
Hasn't started yet.
Yeah, because being British, working in being employed with British people, you have to be on time, and on time means
Yes.
being somewhere 15 minutes before
Wow.
something starts,
Impressive.
right? So if something starts at 7, then you have to be there at 6:30. You queue at 6:45. So 7 o'clock, nothing is happening. So I was leaning against the wall of Royal Albert Hall, the circle bit.
And bear in mind, I had a ponytail.
Yes,
with a tuxedo.
Yeah, and at that time,
that picture now sticks in my
because
head now.
It was The Last Samurai. That film had just come out, so everyone had that hairstyle,
Oh,
right?
it's
The
that
Tom
time.
Cruise.
I remember that movie. Yes.
So I remember this guy walked past, and I just thought, someone smells really good. And I looked up, and then I saw this guy with a ponytail. I said, wow, not bad. This Malaysian person comes to sing. And they're really getting into the swing of things because they've employed Malaysian students to be ushers because they're all wearing tuxedos.
Yes, not knowing that I was the executive producer. I was
Yeah.
the executive director of Putra World Trade Center, who was then the concert organizer.
Yes.
Yeah. So then I couldn't hold it anymore. I said, "Excuse me, where's the toilet?" And then he said, he said, "You can't go out toilet outside. You have to go inside. So you have to wait." So okay, fine. And that was how we met.
And then from there, what happened from there?
Oh, you want to know more? Really?
That was just the high part.
No, because after that she sat at the VIP section, and I think she got a shock of her life when she realized that I was the one that went on stage,
Yeah.
gave the speech and thanked everyone, and give the flowers away to Siti Nurhaliza, and then I think
It was the
struck to you that I was the-
the executive producer, and then I didn't meet him again until the next day when they had a private event, and he was introduced to me as a student.
Yeah. That was in my head. You thought he was a student.
Yeah.
You thought she was 16,
16,
17.
yeah. So she's not 18 yet, so I'm not supposed to say anything.
Ah,
you know,
that vibe. Yeah, I get it.
And so I asked him what subjects he was studying. He said he's doing his business, doctorate in business administration. I said, oh, okay. Are you in your thesis? Yes, but I'm finding it hard to find books. I said, well, I'm a regular at Waterstone's bookstore. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then I asked him, when are you leaving? And he said, well, I'm leaving tomorrow. And I said, have you, why are you not staying longer so that you can go sightseeing? He says, I've come to London all the time. I says, okay, so where have you been? He said, well, actually, I come into London, I fly in at night, I arrive in the morning, I finish my business, and I fly back to Malaysia in the evening. So, well, that's not coming to London.
Yeah.
So, and he said, where have you been? He said, I've only fed the ducks at Hyde Park. Hyde Park? You haven't seen London. So I said, if you have time, then next time you come, then I'll show you around. So the next day, after that.
No, what happened after was, it was a big hoo-ha in Malaysia. Because I was then said I was to be the, supposedly the husband to Siti Nurhaliza. It was a gossip going around, if you remember this.
Yes.
But you're too young.
Probably too young for that.
Too young to
Yeah.
follow.
I'm into the Digimon and Pokemon at that time.
Yes,
I
yes.
think.
So when that happened, I was supposed to fly together with the entourage, right?
Yeah.
But then I asked my mom and dad, and then my father said, "What do you want to do?" I think I want to stay back and see how it goes. So I stayed back, and the whole entourage went back to Malaysia. And there's this big article in the newspaper saying that Fazley, quote unquote, merajuk in London.
Yeah.
Pula dah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
but I stayed on just to see her,
and then he-
to get to know her.
So
Yes.
he called me and then he said, I've changed my, guess what? I said, are you back in Malaysia? He says, no, I changed my flight. I said, why the hell did you do that? He said, because you asked me to. So, oh, okay, so now I'd like to take you out for coffee. So, okay, the guy changed his flight for me, so I've got to go now.
Oh, wow, that's a big
And
gesture.
That's
It was a
different
side-
signals, right?
It was a coffee shop on the sidewalk.
Sorry, it was quite ugly.
It was a really ugly shop. I have to, but the coffee was good, right? So, so I took him then, and I sat him down, and I said, "Look, what do you want from me? Because right now I'm in a point in my life where I can only offer friendship. I cannot offer anything.
You want a different take. You want a
Well, I
different
treated him like a
perspective.
normal person.
Yeah,
So you didn't
it felt
know
it felt
who
good.
was
It
at
felt
all.
good,
At
yeah.
all, I didn't know. And even if I did know, I think it would still be the same kind of treatment, if
Yeah.
not worse.
And we caught a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
And then less than
No, you went home. You
I
went
did.
home, and then we were on the phone for about 30 days, and then I came home to Malaysia to attend a wedding. So he and his family were there at the wedding. So then it was my turn to take him out in KL. We went out for dinner, and then we had a chat, and then I don't know, there was something that he said that struck me as anybody that marries this person is going to be a lucky person.
what did I
And
say?
that's what I
wow.
said. I said to him, I said, whoever is going to be your wife is going to be a very lucky person.
What did he do that gave off that vibe?
No, it was just the conversations that we were having, and then
And
he,
I felt the same about her at the wedding.
yeah,
Because there was my parents there.
Yes.
And
yes.
she was in this beautiful dress, full makeup on, she had all the, a girl looking like that will not be doing what I'll be sharing shortly. So she just came to me and said hi, and in front of my parents at the table, she just squatted down. The Malay was menyangkung. I was like, she squatted next to my parents and just had a chat with them. I was like, oh my God, this girl had still all this orang kampung style in her, and she spoke like a typical budak kampung, but the moment she spoke English, she sounded like a person who's in London, of course. So I thought, this is something unique I've never experienced all my life.
my grandparents are very traditional, and my auntie and my uncle are very traditional. I was raised a lot and spent a lot of time with them, and one of the things that they instilled in me was the fact that if you're younger, you under no circumstances do you stand or sit higher than the older person.
Awesome. This is like a
Yeah.
British value?
No,
No,
it's a Malay value.
It's a Malay
It's
value,
a
right?
traditional
Yeah,
value.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, like
an
I said,
Asian
it's orang
value.
kampung value.
Yes.
I mean, my grandma used to say that,
But that value like sticks
I mean,
with
she
you.
was in London for many years, more than
Yeah.
10 years. And for her to still have that.
Yes.
And let me share with you, I'm going to cut short on this because it's something interesting for me as a guy, which I think you may relate. There's more things to that. And one of the main thing when I realized that, okay, she's the one. Although I was also very certain that she's going to be the mother of my kids, but I will also have had my own uncertainties.
Yes.
But this particular morning when I arrived in Heathrow, well, let me just be true.
5:30 a.m. arrival
Yeah,
flight.
let me just retract. Yeah, my grandma, she's from Negeri Sembilan. My mom's Negeri
Yes.
Sembilan, right? And I was born in Negeri Sembilan. It's a saying that if you were to marry a girl, the girl needs to know how to cook.
Okay.
All right. I wasn't a chef then, but
Mhm.
everybody in my family cooks. All right. So I arrived at 5:30 in Heathrow, and she was waiting for me outside with this
5:30.
5:30 in the morning with this red plastic bag that you can get in any kedai
Mamak
mamak or
shop,
kedai
yeah.
runcit, right? And inside the plastic bag, there's this sauce chili Aminah Hassan in London,
Oh.
and there's this Tupperware that had curry puffs. So I was like, curry puff?
And it was so hot.
Yes, it was still hot.
She made it.
No, wait.
Oh, okay,
Don't jump the gun yet.
Okay, sorry.
So as I was trying the curry puff in the taxi, and then I realized the claim was beautifully done. So in my head, nah, she can't be doing this. I mean, I'm sure she bought this somewhere because the
said
claim
you
was
bought it?
perfectly done. So I said, Adik, did you buy this? And she said this to me. I said, Abang.
Where the hell are you going to find a shop that's open at 4:30 in the morning for curry puffs?
Yeah, I said,
That's
in
true.
London?
yeah, and then I peeled open a curry puff because my mom taught me, if you want to see a girl whether she's patient enough or she's good in the kitchen, look at how she diced the potatoes. So
Wow.
I split open and I saw the potatoes and the onions were diced very uniformly, and everything was so small and nice. I straight away called my mom and said, Ibu, I found this girl and she made this beautifully clean curry puff. It's still hot with sauce chili Aminah Hassan, and everything was cut so perfectly. My mom said, really? No, she's very patient. She might be the one.
Wow. Wow, there's a story here that you can make into a movie.
Yeah,
Hot curry
Curry
puff.
puffs.
yeah, so what's it saying? Curry puff cinta.
Yeah.
Mashallah. But you being a public figure that you are, and you don't know who he is, but once you're with him, evidently you're gonna be in public
Yeah,
eye
that's
as
the thing.
well.
Firstly,
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on back home.
He didn't know
Because
who I
when
was.
you
Yeah.
when you leave the country at the age that I did at 17 and you never wanted to come home, you kind of leave everything that's happening back home
Understood.
behind. At that time as well, the internet was not what it is now.
Yeah, no social media.
It's not. The social media was there, but it wasn't as active. Or
It was like what, Friendster, MySpace?
Yeah, it was MIRC or
Yeah.
MIRC. Wow. Kampung Chat.
Yeah,
that one.
Kampung Chat and all
Oh.
those things. And, we were still carrying those phones where you baling kat kepala pecah.
Oh,
kepala
that one,
orang.
yeah,
It
the
was
brick
really the
phone.
Nokia brick phones,
Yes.
right?
And I didn't tell her that I was actually in the music industry.
He never said anything. And so my friend calls me up 6 months later and says, Azrene, I think you better Google this guy up. You're about to marry him. And I don't think he's telling you everything.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Me being a lawyer freaked out, thinking, oh my God, the guy's bankrupt or something like that. And so I Googled him and then I called him immediately and I said, is there anything you want to tell me? And he said, oh, no, nothing happened today. And I said, you're a singer.
No, she uttered this very word. Somebody told me that you're a rock star. Rock star? I mean, the British would say
Yeah,
that,
the-
right?
yes,
Right?
yes.
Because growing up the way I did, with who my parents are and everything, being a politician's child, you're thrown into the limelight a lot, and everything that you do, everything that you say is scrutinized. You
It's
can't
tough.
even have a meltdown publicly
Yeah,
without
it is
it being known by everybody on the astro signal line. So it was just, I always wanted a quiet life. I didn't want to marry someone who's in the public life or the public line. So it was a shock to find out that I was going to marry this Malaysian rock star, motivational speaker, and God knows what else, Rex. I thought he was a student. So
how did you deal with it then once that you know that he's a public figure?
I said I need a moment to digest how this is going to work
So we
because it's
stopped
going
talking
to
for a week. I
yeah
think.
because it's going to change the whole dynamics of everything. Right. And so then I thought, luckily I said yes, but not yet.
That was it. Yes. Smart
But
answer.
I weighed the pros and cons. I said, whatever it is, this is the person. You when God says this is the one, He doesn't give you signals in short form or in Morse code. He actually like throws the hammer on your head and says that's the one, right? And those were the signals that I was getting throughout the time that we were together over the 6 months that we were dating at the time. So I said, Azrene, at the end of the day, what do you want to do? And for me, this was the one.
Okay.
So if this is the one, how am I going to make this work? It's not how he's going to make it work, but how am I going to make it work? So I called him back and I said, whatever it is, you have to understand that your world is not my world.
Okay. Clear.
So I'm an introvert by nature, and I'm terrified of media. I'm terrified of big crowds. I'm terrified of people. I'm terrified of people who stampede people just to get a picture. I stay at home. I work. That's my life. And if I have kids, they're my life. I do not care what is going on elsewhere.
Understood.
Are you okay with that? Because people in your world are going to find it offensive that I've rejected them.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see that.
I did face a bit of a problem initially whenever I was invited to a show where I have to do my red carpets.
Yes.
I'm always alone. Yeah, she will refuse to be on the red carpet. She will refuse to put on makeup and dress up for me for the event. But I respect that. And now that it's 13 years in marriage, I think I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it was the right choice I made many years back to marry someone who didn't know who I was.
Yes.
Because she did not want any limelight. She refused to be the one that being photographed. And every time I go around in a shopping mall, when there's followers or fans, we call it, who want to take pictures.
Yes.
She's the one that would offer herself to help take pictures,
the pictures.
instead of getting jealous, instead of getting envious.
Yeah.
Or
I think because we started out as friends.
Okay.
And we based our relationship as friends.
Yes.
And we went through so much as friends to get married, and all the drama and issues and stuff. So that made us a lot stronger, because the basis and the very foundation of our relationship is not just love. I love you, you love me, because there's going to be a lot of things that's going to test love.
That's true.
But there's not going to be a lot of things that's going to test companionship and compatibility.
Trust. Yes.
And so the foundation, and I told him that, I said to him, I said, I don't want a big house. I don't want a big ring. I don't want a big car. I don't want a fancy life. But what I do expect from my life partner is trust, honesty, respect.
Three big things you just mentioned there. Yeah.
Very, very free to give, but the most difficult things to give.
And she said this very word to me in London. She said, Abang, I just want to grow old with you.
Yeah. I said,
So I thought that was the most magical sentence for me.
Even
because,
if under atap zinc.
yes.
Even if under
You see,
atap
because
zinc,
I've
right?
dated so much in the process of trying to get a wife for myself, right? I faced many stumble blocks, especially when some girls are just in it for love, in it just for money, in it just for the fame,
fantasy of
Yeah.
it.
the fantasy of marrying an artist.
A good life is a dream, but a good life is hard work. And if you think you're going to, and being married is to an entertainer in this kind of industry or whatever industry where your life it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the public, it's harder.
It is.
And you're kidding yourself, and you're living a fantasy if you think that you can get away with just everything hunky-dory, bed of roses.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
But still, even after you said that you don't want to be in the limelight, you are
Still in the
limelight.
Yes.
But she gets to choose, pick and choose which event she wants to go to. And most of the time, whenever we receive an invitation, I will ask her first whether she's comfortable with it. And most of the time, out of 10 events, she would only agree to 1 or 2. Like this interview today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming here.
I appreciate
I
it.
really had to convince her. She said, Abang, I don't want to do this. Can I just be you?
yeah.
You know?
I think if you look at my Instagram, you can pretty much get a gist of that as well. I am very far separated or far removed from the entertainment side. I'm more of a background person for him.
Yes.
I drive him. I'm in the back seat, and I'm always saying, what do you need? So if you open a restaurant, I'm not going to be the one that's there going, hi, I'm his wife. No, I'm the one that's probably going to be washing the dishes.
But that's
or
what you've been doing, though. In my Suka restaurant of 8 years,
Yes.
there's many occasions where she is my waiter. She is my
For real?
Yes, for real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she's the toilet cleaner. She's also my cake designer. And there are many occasions where customers would come to her and say, "Call your boss. I'm not happy with the food. I'm not happy with the toilet. Sorry, I don't like your face." Not knowing that she's my wife.
Wow.
Not realizing that she's my wife.
Uh-huh.
But she's fine with all that.
Yeah.
There's no temper in her that would
And I
suddenly...
think that comes with the fact that I was raised in the environment that I was raised in.
Understood. Understood.
You understand your place in life, and you understand that there's lines to be drawn, and
Yeah.
you understand when to give and when to take. And in the public line, you have to understand that your life belongs to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to you to decide where that line begins and how far that line stops.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about lines, being in the public eye,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes people don't realize there is a line. They figure that you're an artist, therefore your wife should be an artist like you,
Yeah.
and they pursue her, not knowing
and
that.
also the kids, actually. I mean,
And also-
Yeah, also the kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you managed to have some privacy in your life, being that you're so public.
Yeah.
Because even people who are not a celebrity,
Yeah.
they actually seek the public eye,
Yeah.
as opposed to seek more privacy.
Yes. Yeah.
Like on social media, right?
Yeah.
You have a problem with your wife, go on Facebook,
yeah.
right? But you guys don't do that. You guys don't do
No.
that, which is interesting to me,
Um,
really.
I think for Fazley, he's got a different formula, but for me, it's always been I have a thing for acronyms.
Mm-hmm,
So I've always practiced this 4 letters, which is PQRS in whatever I do.
PQRS.
Yeah. So P is for pause. So whatever happens, you pause and you take stock of everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you question. That's Q.
Uh-huh.
All right. Why is it happening? Who's it happening to? Who are the
Yes.
players? Who's going to be hurt if I do certain things, or if I react in a certain way, or I write a certain way? And then R is basically you reflect and you ponder.
I reflect. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
yep.
then S is your solution. And after you've done that, so say for example, like my Instagram, I want to post something on my feed. So
Yes.
when I've done everything, then I'll do the PQRS exercise. And
Yes.
then I'll think, is this going to get me into trouble? Is the trouble worth it? If it's worth it, then I'll post it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You put so much thought into your Instagram posts, probably than majority of people. They just take a selfie and they stick it in. But it's very, very good. PQRS. It's a very,
PQRS,
very good,
yeah.
good thing to
In
practice.
everything. It's not just in social media or public life or whatever, but it's even between us. Like if I get angry, I used to be one of those people that just shotgun, just straight away, just laser. And being Negeri Sembilan, it's very painful at times, right? But I've learned over the 13 years being married to him, I can't just do that. Or whether it's in public, or whether it's him, or whether it's my children or his parents, or
Yes. Yes.
anything. It's always PQRS now.
PQRS.
So people
Because
used
what-
people
yeah,
used to
what-
say count 1 to 10, but no, that's not enough.
Because what people fail to realize in a marriage, end of the day, it's no longer about your looks. It's no longer
Yeah.
just about love.
Yes.
It's about accepting your partner's flaws.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you can accept their flaws, then you are in a good marriage.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because when you are married for the first year, everything is easy, everything is nice and shiny, everything is full of love, and you say I love you every single day.
Yeah.
But after you reach about 5 years, everything fades.
Well, then
Yeah.
issues as well, like
Yeah.
money,
So
Yeah.
children.
correct.
Stress,
what's left?
work.
What's left is patience. You know,
Yes.
you need to be patient with whatever flaws that you suddenly discover. What you don't like about your partner, you have to accept them. And what I like to believe in a marriage is all about highlighting your partner's strength and
Yes.
accepting your partner's flaws. Therefore, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
So a marriage is more of a friendship, that you love your best friend, that you go through everything in life
Yeah.
together.
And they're your first port of call for everything. For everything.
Communication between you two.
Communication.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember when I first started going out with him, the first thing that I had to iron out when I found out that he was a public figure was I handed him a list. Here you go. This is a list of all the people that have been my boyfriends before.
Wow, okay. You kept a
And
list.
Yes, I mean, you have to remember who you were with, right?
Okay.
Because some good Samaritan is going to come and say, "Oh, by the way," and I knew that something like that was going to happen to me, and so I said, "Can you accept this? Because this is my past.
Okay.
We're going to the future, but if you don't know my past, it's going to affect the future. So now, give me your list, because someday across the line, I don't want to have to be unprepared by a good Samaritan coming saying, "Oh, by the way, do you know?"
I was dating.
I
your
once
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
That happened to us in
Yes, a
many
lot of
many
times.
many
A
times.
lot of
It
times.
happened for
13 years.
real.
Yes.
For real,
Yes.
even like just last month, 3 of my exes came and say,
Oh, wow.
"Hi, Abang Fazley, remember me?" I said, "Of course I do."
Yeah.
And then thank God she remembers them, and she would say, "Abang, they're your ex-girlfriends kan dulu. You used to date them
Yeah,
for
and
some time." So,
I'm-
yeah.
I-
And she's open about it.
Yeah, it's fine, and
Cool.
that means that there's no jealousy, there's no suspicion, there's nothing, because you're well prepared to welcome these people in your life.
Because you discussed this
Because
beforehand.
we discussed it
Earlier.
before.
Yes,
So
much earlier.
this axis of us becomes our business partners, becomes acquaintance, become people that we actually meet regularly for work.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you don't
Yeah.
have that maturity in you,
Because they're
you
your
cannot move
network.
forward. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my exes are pretty much my best friends as well. So he
Can't
knows
avoid
who
them
they are.
forever,
You can't
right?
avoid them
Yeah.
forever. And so yeah, we're fine with that. You know.
That's
It's-
really mature of you guys. I'm quite surprised. Wow, mashallah.
His exes can come and they'll have dinner with us, and he's met my exes, and I'll say, look, this is what everything is.
So you discuss everything
Everything.
beforehand.
Everything.
Yeah, before you got married.
Because it was either we accept it or not.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Th-
true.
that's-
Acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you mentioned that even after all of that, you still notice flaws that may
Of
surprise
course.
you
Of
after
course.
marriage,
Of
right?
course.
Like I
course.
said,
Yeah.
the test drive thing.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's why
You drive the car, it's all good, but then after 1 month you tried
need a
it,
road
something.
test.
because
yeah.
it's just human nature to
That's
start
true.
To become a little judgmental of people,
Yeah.
even of your own partners.
yeah,
So you just have to accept them as it is.
because he was raised in a different environment. I'm raised in a different environment.
Yes.
We were raised maybe with some similar values, but not all the values are the same.
That's
and
true.
what he prioritizes, I might think is very petty. So, and he's flawed. I'm flawed. Nobody's perfect. So, it's about now exercising your values and principles and seeing what is it that you can just pejam mata and just let pass, and what is it that you cannot live with at all.
Yeah.
Oh, the second part I'm interested in.
Yeah.
In the things that you cannot live with, you have to address.
Yeah.
How do you do that without like
No.
leaking it to the public or
No,
things like
this
that?
is something that I think people need to understand. There's an old song by Tan Sri P. Ramlee, Sedangkan lidah lagi tergigit.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever that you want to do with your partners, with your partner especially, you must understand that you have to accept them as they are. And sometimes in order to accept someone as they are, you need to go through a heated argument. You need to go through some process of disagreeing about things.
Yes.
Agreeing to disagree.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to do in a
Yeah.
That
marriage.
is true.
Yeah.
So we face that too.
Yeah.
But we both agree that whatever happens to us within our bedroom, whatever argument we have in the car, we do not bring it outside.
Yeah.
We can have a heated argument in the past 5 minutes, and the moment my mom steps in or walk in, hi boo, my
Oh.
kids are, hey, how are you guys?
Yeah.
We are still fighting, we're still enraged, but we're
Pause.
smiling.
Yes.
Pause.
Yes.
Put a pin on
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
We'll read it
so
later.
we practice that,
Yeah.
and that's something that we both practice, and it's quite automatic now.
Yeah, I think that was a fight that we had. It was quite a difficult one, and then I think his mom didn't know for about a year and a half.
Yeah, we told
Oh,
my
wow.
mom later.
You guys good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, we have
Wow,
to. That's
you
what
have
marriage
to.
is all
That's
about.
true.
The Malay saying is menutup aib
Yes,
pasangan.
yes.
Right, you have
Yeah,
to.
I think, but it's more a case of again ironing out your differences, and
Mm-hmm.
until those are ironed out, you don't speak to anybody else because nobody else is involved in your marriage.
That's true.
It's you and your partner. So if you don't iron it out between the two of you, everybody else doesn't have to know.
That's true. But do you have any like specific? I mean, you said one thing is that if your mom walks in, you just hi.
Yeah.
Do you have other techniques that you develop over the years
as
that
I
maybe
was
you can
saying
share
just
with
now,
us?
This is quite automatic for us now.
Yeah.
We always believe that if we have some disagreement, if any of us merajuk, we always try to solve it before we go to sleep.
Before we go to bed.
So
Okay.
before we close our eyes and say our goodbyes, we must make sure that we're okay with each other. So
Don't go
that,
to sleep angry.
Yes, and we try our best not to make decisions while we're angry.
It's okay to wake up after resolving. It's still okay to wake up the next day with negative feelings and being angry again.
Yeah.
But solve it again.
Yeah.
You know, before
Address
you
it. Address it.
You have to. You can't run away from it.
Yeah.
But there are people who are married for like 10, 20, maybe 30 years, but they kept so many things inside.
Yes.
And they think that, no argument means happiness. Right? So they avoid any conflicts. They avoid any like heated arguments. You guys don't avoid it. You guys face it head on.
We have to, because like she said, and we both agree that we both are best friends first, lovers second. We share everything that we can, as much as we can, and if we need to put it aside to address it to a later stage in a more calming environment, then we do so. Yeah, because we have 4 kids, and we went through difficulties to get our 4 kids. She went through 13 times of miscarriages in order to get these 4 kids. I appreciate the fact that she has sacrificed so much of her emotions, so much of her potential life just to be with me. We went through a lot of hardship together. So after 13 years of marriage, the marriage become an autopilot. Everything runs in accordance with what we agree on subconsciously.
Yes.
When to talk, when to argue, when to decide to have a constructive argument, when to hug each other, when to cry on each other's shoulders. So I think that comes in quite automatically after 13 years of marriage.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we've known each other's signals, basically.
But you have to observe it
Yeah.
constantly,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
You see
Because-
PQRS again.
Yeah, PQRS. Because you could be married for 20 years, but you still don't know
Yes,
the other
one
person.
thing that a person likes to do is try to change their partners.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Change the way they sleep, change the way they talk,
Yeah.
change the way they behave. I think that's
Or
not...
in a constant endeavor to please your partner, you change or you try to change. Because you think that's what will please them.
Overall, I think I'm quite impressed by how you can manage to maintain your privacy, even though that you are indeed a public figure, both of you, even though you're more private than he is. Just want to leave people who are listening to this, people who are not public figures, but, nevertheless, with social media, all our lives are public now. And people are seeking the public attention when they want that instant gratification, not happy with husband, not happy with wife, boom, a tweet.
Yeah.
An Instagram post or a Facebook post. As people who are in this relationship, you argue with each other a lot. What would you say to them who are seeking this public attention and airing out their dirty laundry, so to speak?
Whenever, in Malaysia, if I can put it that way, there's this kursus nikah that you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always remember whatever you were taught and always refresh your knowledge about this. Never assume that you've been through a kursus nikah once, therefore that would save your marriage for another 20, 30 years.
That's true,
You need to always ask someone that is in the know. If you don't like to speak to the ustazah or ustaz because you feel that's opening your eye, speak to those who have more experience. Do not speak to just your best friends because best friends can usually be a little lopsided. They side more towards the one that's they're closest with.
Yeah.
So get audience from someone that you think can give you a better understanding of things. And the fact that you fight a lot with your partner, with your husband or wife, this is something that you need to understand that the public should not know. If you feel that social media is an outlet, then you're wrong. If you feel that social media is a place for you to pump in all your anger, then again, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's the concept of marriage in Islam. For me, it's simple. You need to protect each other's aib. And aib means in anger, in sadness, in depression. It's always about protecting the mosque that you built.
Yes.
I believe in that
Well put.
very much.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. And for me, I think it's also it's the fact that who are you trying to seek validation from? you have to know yourself, and you will come. Some people, they cop on a bit later, but I realized early on in life that for me, it's more about self-validation.
Yes.
I don't need validation from other people.
That's true.
I need to be able to wake up and look at myself in the mirror and say, I like this person that's staring back at me. If I don't, then I know I've done something wrong. And there are people that I need to apologize to. If somebody is angry with me, or if he's angry with me, I will go through the PQRS process and I will say, look, he's angry. It can't just be him. And it can't just be me. So what's going on? And then I'll think to myself, did I actually have a hand, no matter how small,
Yes.
in causing this to happen? So it's more for me about self-validation in marriage. Yes, you need the validation of your partner, but majorly it's you.
Yes.
And it's all on you. And you don't put the responsibility or the sole responsibility on your partner. You have to work together. You do not seek third-party input until you feel that after ironing it out between the both of you, there's nothing else that you can do.
Yeah, after all is said and done,
That's right.
then you go to the third option
Yes.
if needed.
If needed.
Let's
But
go to
third
PQRS
option
again.
is never social media.
Never
Never on social media.
put the phones away.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
quite understand why most of married people use the social media platform to put on their rage and anger about their family, about their partner. Yes, it's some of my followers think that it's a way out. It's therapeutic, which is quite scary to think of it that way.
Venting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To actually put it out so that you can get your likes, you can get your followers, your friends to see that you're angry or sad.
Yep.
But bear in mind that if you share too much of your problem, you are opening a can of worms that you can't even close after a point of time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think that I'm more of the kind of person where he knows this. The secret to my patience is basically I don't acknowledge. I know the demons are there, but I don't play to their tune.
Cool.
I know what they are, so I work around them as opposed to running away from them. I prefer to face things head on. But at the end of the day, I have to understand that this is my amanah from Allah. My children are my amanah from Allah. I am no longer a young person. I'm not in my teens anymore. When I married, I was.
But you still look 18.
Oh,
to me.
you, thank you. I also behave like a 5-year-old, but you
Brownie
know.
points.
Until I cook cake tonight. But I like Fazli said, remember what the Ustad said during your kursus nikah.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility to him and to the family, and he has a responsibility towards you. You both have rights. You have to be very clear about your rights. And as long as you do that, I don't think anybody else would ever have a say in your marriage. Not even people who are close, like family.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
that's this thing I would like to address. I mean, I've got asked a lot on my social media where some of my followers are asking, is it okay that my husband's always joke around saying that, can I marry another one?
Yeah.
And then whenever I joke around, they will ask me, don't you want another wife? Things like that.
Don't do things like that.
Don't poke.
Don't poke the fire.
Yes, don't poke the fire.
Guys,
That's this Malay saying,
would you do that?
jangan
Yeah.
dijuluk sarang
Yeah,
terbuat.
because you know, we've always grown up as Asian kids and as Muslims as well. You know, langit terbuka, you never know God's listening, right? And He gives you what you say or what you want. But it's the same with what's in your heart. So as a girl, I'm just going to say this to other ladies as well. If you start thinking that your husband, for example, is playing around outside or is doing something or he's going to look for a second one, why do you want to go and look for trouble? Trouble looks for you all the time. Even if the whisper in your heart is acknowledged, kot langit terbuka, that's also a doa.
Yeah.
And God
Good
is
point.
always listening. So And he has a very nice and warped sense of humor sometimes because he has to deal with a lot of people, right? And a lot of requests. So he'll give you what you want, but it's not exactly in the way that you want it.
Yeah. So I always
Good way of
hold
putting
on
it.
to this. It's always
Good way of putting
good
it.
thoughts all the time.
Yeah.
Bersangka baik
Yeah.
Yeah.
towards
And
your
don't joke
life
around like
partner.
that.
No, don't.
Yeah.
I don't
Just
like
yeah.
to hear those
Yeah.
type of things.
And that's one of the things that we ironed out.
The jokes.
The jokes, but more, I told him, I said, sebaik-baik adik, and I know in Islam it's allowed, but you know what, I have a problem with sharing.
Yeah. So we ironed that out much earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told him that. I
okay.
said, there are other pathways to get to heaven. I don't necessarily need to use that one. But I do, and I acknowledge that maybe this is something you have to think about, whether you're okay with it. But for me, I have a problem with 2, 3, or 4. And if that is your way of thinking, we better not
Proceed. Okay.
because-
Make it clear.
Yes, make it very clear. I don't like sharing in that way. I share a lot, but I do not share people that I love with other people.
I think, even
Yeah.
though we established it's allowed.
Yes,
That's not
it's
a
allowed.
question of
Yes.
allowed,
Yes.
not allowed.
Yeah.
But I think men have to be more sensitive to how
Just
the
don't-
women feel
Don't
about
take
it.
advantage of what was given as a
Yes.
responsibility
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
men.
Yeah, as something that you
Yeah.
can poke fun at
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
make jokes
Yeah,
about.
because we everyone has feelings,
That's true.
you know.
That's true.
And
PQRS.
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 Yeah, and
Can we go over PQRS again?
P is pause,
question,
reflect,
solution. I think that's a good golden rule in life. Thank you for sharing that with
Yeah,
us.
no problem.
I guess that's all the time we have.
I've got one question for you though.
For me.
Yes, of course. I don't think people ask you many questions on the program.
let
right?
me
How
prepare
long
myself.
have you been married?
This year,
Yep.
it'll be my seventh
Wow.
year.
Okay, I want
Yeah.
to hear this from you.
Ooh, okay.
Can you say this to your wife?
Uh-huh.
Why do you think she is the most wonderful person in your life?
Well, I'm attracted.
I want her to listen.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she listens to this.
I'll make sure she does.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Why she's the most special person for me in my life?
Yep.
She's a mother. I saw that in her before I married her. She has that motherly vibe, which is what I was looking for in a woman at that time. Even before I was a father, single man, I was already looking for the future mother of my children.
Okay,
So
let
she
me
has
ask-
that vibe.
Let me ask you this. How did you feel when I asked you that? Were you a little nervous to answer?
I feel flutters in not nervous. I feel like a bit emotional with
Yeah.
that question
Yes.
because
of
yeah.
that feeling that you have, I
Yeah.
want all the listeners to have the same thing.
Yeah.
Whenever
Oh.
someone were to ask about why they love their partner so much, you should not think twice about the answer. It should come out naturally.
Yeah.
And then the marriage will be wonderful.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Well, thank you for doing that to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a
No,
PQRS moment for me.
Well, it's a good exercise because you know, as women, and men as well, we want to be appreciated. And I think out of everything that he's ever said to me in the 13 years of marriage, there was only one that stuck out, and it was he came home and he just looked at me and said, "Thank God I'm married to you." And that was
That's it.
yeah.
That's it.
Yep, that
No,
was-
no context whatsoever. Just
No.
thank God I'm married to
Yeah,
you.
you just think, where did this come? You know, but that's a story for another day. But something like that, just
Yeah.
as simple as that. Thank God I'm married to you.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great,
Yeah.
you know?
Sometimes I feel like saying to my wife, "Thank you for choosing me."
Yeah.
Even though I asked her why did you choose me, she never gave me the answer. Even after 7 years, that's a secret that she's gonna take to her grave. But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay.
yeah, thank you for answering my question.
No worries. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. This is a place where we can open up
Sure.
with our
Thoughts?
feelings, not thoughts, but feelings, which is really rare in terms
It's
of
a
like.
safe place. Amar.
Yeah, it's a safe place. Well, thank you very much for
Thank
the
you.
experience
Thank
that
you
you
so
have
much.
provided for us
Thank
today. That is it, guys. Couple Talk Season 3, first episode with this wonderful couple right here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Couple Talk Season 3 brought to you by TillJannah.my. My name is Aiman Azlan. Bye!
Assalamualaikum, hi everybody. Thank you for watching Couple Talk. So basically, we are the producers of Couple Talk. Why we do Couple Talk in the first place is because we want